Welcome back to BS3 Network's coverage of Super Bowl 58, live from Las Vegas, Nevada, home of Super Bowl 58, here at the Mandalay Bay Convention Center. We are live with former NFL linebacker Al Smith, and when he shook my hand, I started to cancel this interview because I'm like, okay, number one, Cat can still play. Number two, if I say anything wrong in this interview, I might be in trouble. Mr. Smith, how you doing this morning, sir?
Doing good. I appreciate you having me.
Oh, yeah, I appreciate having you. You know, I saw a couple of the initiatives that you have, and I was talking to your people, and they really were fascinating to me. You know, you're talking about education, you're talking about health, you're talking about getting vaccinated, you know, with shingles and whatnot. My mom suffered from shingles, and when I say it was an excruciating pain for her, man. And so now every time I go to my doctor and I'm due, I say, man, you don't have to say anything else. Give me my shot, man, because I don't want to go through that. And it can affect your eyesight and vision and whatnot. Talk to us a little bit, man, about your relationship with the CDC and the shingles campaign.
Well, one thing with our partnership with the CDC and the shingles, our main focus is to go into underserved communities and be able to, touch individuals who are who want the vaccination or who wants to be up on their health care, but don't have the opportunity. Because a lot of times it's access. Everyone doesn't have access. Mm-hmm. No one's telling you what to do. No one's telling you to get it or whatever the case may be. But a lot of times people want it, but at the same time don't have access to get it. So we try to create that platform. So for individuals in the underserved communities who may not be able to get down to the doctor or what have you, and bring it to the community and give them the opportunity, through mobile units and what have you. Okay. So the community can have access.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that's good, because obviously within the community, transportation is a big deal, especially when you start talking about the elderly, right? And so those financial constraints, those transportation constraints, for things like healthcare and voting and things of that nature. So that mobile unit, I think, is a fantastic idea, and it would likely increase your participation.
Yeah, definitely. When you see it, when you're on the ground, a lot of times, boots on the ground, so to speak. Right. When you're in the community, a lot of people from up top, they're looking at the numbers, statistics. But when you're out there with the people and you talk to them and you look at them in the eye and you're looking at the kids and you see the impact that it has in the happiness and the ability for them to, have the access that any other American would have, is very exciting to them. And the same thing with our other campaigns.
Right. Yeah. Being a veteran, access, man, and getting around and things of that nature is very important. So I'm going to ask you one more question about vaccination. We'll talk a little football, and then we'll get into a couple of your other initiatives. When COVID came out, the debate about vaccinations ran rampant. Okay. The trust factor. Right. Mm-hmm. So I would imagine that pre-COVID, there's probably a lot less hesitation about vaccines in terms of whether it be measles, mumps, what all we used to have to get with kids, but we didn't ask any questions, right? You couldn't get to school, right, without them. But post-COVID, is there a hesitation that you're seeing with vaccination just simply because of all that took place with COVID?
Well, now it's the hesitation isn't as strong as it was in the past, because of the fact that a lot of people have been vaccinated now. Right. Everyone has seen it. Everyone may have been touched by a loved one. Right. Okay. Because it's not maybe the vaccination, but at the same time, a pre-existing condition that you may have had, that something may have happened anyway, and you got vaccinated or whatever the case may be, and something of that. But it's our whole thing, especially with the Tennessee Department of Health and that partnerships, gives us the opportunity to educate and inform the community. Okay. Not tell the community what to do. Educate and inform. Talk to your doctors, and get the information. Mm-hmm. But having the access, once you get the information, you still have the access to get it once your decision is made. And you made a great point in that. When we were kids, chicken pox, measles, mumps, there was no question. No. They were shooting us all over the place. Right. There was no hesitancy because you couldn't go to school. I mean, you didn't see any marches about, I'm shut down the school because I want my kid to get measles vaccination or whatever the case be. We all did it. I mean, this is not anything new, but especially with something that is widespread as this type of those type of diseases.
Right. Okay. Well, again, the former linebacker for the Houston Oilers, Al Smith, on with us here on BS3 Network, live from Las Vegas, Nevada, Super Bowl 58. And Mr. Smith, he's out of Los Angeles. He was drafted by the Houston Oilers. The BS3 Network and a lot of our shows and participants, even though we are across the country, our base is in Texas, Dallas area. So you already know it's probably going to be a couple of folks that's mad I had a former Houston Oiler on, but you know,
we had the Cowboys.
I thought his initiative was good. He played linebacker. Again, he's NFL alumni. So talk to me a little bit about your playing days. Tell me the difference between when you played that position and the way the position is played now, because you know you have some hybrids, right? To where a safety is a linebacker and a linebacker is a safety, and a lot of them are built like you, homeboy. So talk to me.
Well, no, I would like to think of. I always look at my history, and in the history of the middle linebacker position, it took a lot to get there. It was a time that we as African Americans weren't even able to play the position.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
So when I look back to Willie Lanier with the Kansas City Chiefs, when I look at Mike Singletary, who was a mentor of mine, playing the 46 defense, and Buddy Ryan and all those type of things, and understanding what they had to do, in the mental aspect of that game, because it's a quarterback on defense, and be able to embrace that and understand what that very seriously, and be able to open the door. Now, everyone can be a linebacker, but to your point, as far as the physicality and taking on linemen and having to go man to man, I had to do everything. It wasn't just drop back on zone. Now, a lot of these linebackers just drop back on zone. They don't have to really take on anybody. They run around blocks or whatever the case may be, but we weren't able to do those type of things. It was more of a physical game. We played on turf. All those type of things were a lot tougher than it was that it is now. And like you said, we have a lot of hybrids, so you don't know what's the linebacker and what's not a linebacker anymore.
Right. Which in some ways, right? Again, we're Cowboy fans with BS3 Network, a lot of us, and Michael Parsons is one of our guys, obviously, right? And you see this dude play on the D line as an edge rusher. You see this dude play in the middle from the DT3 technique position, standing up sometimes, man.
Oh, yes.
Do you ever wish you could have played when defense was played like it is today, and salivate and think what you could have done?
I know it'd have been great to be able to move around and do different things, but one thing in the middle, and I take pride in this, and being in the middle, being a quarterback on defense, taking on linemen, reading real blocks, taking on blocks, what have you. Because when I played our D linemen, we had double-digit sack guys across the board, the defensive ends and the tackles. We had all-pro type, guys up front. They weren't trying to keep people off me or hold people up like they do nowadays, or be able to run around blocks and all those type of things. They were trying to get the quarterback. Yeah. And then I had to, obviously, take on people and do all that other stuff. But that was fine for our defense going forward. But at the same time, the position is the quarterback on defense. Yeah. And I took pride in that, and having Warren Moon as our quarterback on offense, and he'd been a mentor. I'm an LA guy. He's an LA guy, and being able to kind of take me under his wing, and being able to start as a rookie and start every game I ever played my whole career. I'm very proud of that.
Yeah. Warren Moon for the community, man, was big for us, because that was still at a time where the black quarterback wasn't getting an opportunity.
Exactly.
So now the guys you played with, who made you react in a way like, God, dog, that's a beast? Who made you react like that even though you were a player, you kind of fanboyed out on it?
Oh, man. Was it like a particular player or a team,
a particular player that you either played with or against?
Well, the toughest player that played against was, as far as tackling wise, was like Barry Sanders. Okay. Barry Sanders, was, tough to tackle, tough to be a part of. I mean, tough to bring down, tough to find, and what have you. So I would say Barry Sanders, and in the game and what he represented, handing the ball to the referee and all that. He epitomized what professionalism is as well.
Okay.
And I want to, I'm sorry.
No, go for it.
No, I was going to mention one other thing about one of our programs that we didn't get into.
Yeah.
We have a great partnership with the Better Business Bureau.
Okay. Yeah.
And we this is a new partnership for us. We love the fact that we're able to come together as the Better Business Bureau Education Foundation of Texas, in Texas. And one of the things with them, as far as working with kids, youth, and being able to, educate at-risk kids and trying to educate them as far as ownership and small business.
Yeah.
And because the small business leaders are the leaders of tomorrow. And anytime that we can put into them, it goes into that whole small business aspect.
Right.
To move up and being able to be leaders in the community, leaders in the state, and so forth.
Right.
So that partnership has been great because it goes with our mission. Like I told you, caring for home, caring for kids, and caring for community. And this community aspect that we have with the Better Business Bureau is huge, along with the CDC and the Tennessee Gear Up campaign, which is our partnership with the Tennessee Department of Health, which gives us the opportunity to go through the state of Tennessee and be able to touch these communities, not just in Nashville, but Memphis, and all throughout the whole state, where we can take and have that star power to come in and say, hey, we got vaccinated. Here's an opportunity for you. And again, not making anybody, not telling somebody what to do, but giving them access if they choose to.
Right. Yeah, this is one of the reasons the relationship that the NFL alumni launched with the Better Business Bureau, Heart of Texas Education Foundation, was one of the biggest reasons why I wanted to do this interview. And the reason why is because BS3 Network is in the leadership business as well from a youth perspective. Okay, we have a program that is called the LOFT program. It is the lead. Right? Because if you can't wait till tomorrow to start training them on what to do, you got to start training them at an early age to start establishing those good habits, those foundational things for them to be able to do what they need to do. Right. So talk to me about what it means to you to be able to work with youth in this, knowing that, how important it is to establish those foundations today.
Well, it's huge working with youth because, obviously the children are our future, so to speak. And if you could put into them, just whether it be business, finance, when you really look at it, whether it be finance, most kids don't, whether it be checkbook or balance checkbook or whatever the case is, until they out of college, basically before the first time they understand or get their first check or whatever the case may be. But that education needs to start because it doesn't happen in school. The basics of finances, all those type of things. And I had very good mentors in my life as far as that goes, whether it be on the field and off the field, that made me understand, even as a athlete, understand the student athlete in college and being able to understand the difference between the two. And it's no law. There's no rule to say that you can be a good student and be a good athlete at the same time. That gets lost. Right. Everybody, athlete, NIL, all these different things. The focus has changed so much that the educational part, I don't care if you make $1 million in college, if you don't know what to do with it, you're back to zero anyway. Right. So all that education and being a student and the emphasis on students is the reason why they call it student athlete as opposed to athlete student.
Right. I'm gonna do something for y'all. A buddy of mine, Mike James, he's a comedian, stand-up comedian. He's out of Nashville, which is where y'all are, right? Let's make sure we get each other's information. When y'all have an event and you need to have, I'm telling you right now, I hadn't even said anything to Mike, but I know as long as the dates and stuff like that work out for him, Mike will come perform for you, like opening up your crowd or something like that for an event that you have, because he's already there in Nashville. That's his home base. Okay?
Sounds good.
And I know for a good cause, he would volunteer his time. So let's make sure we exchange information and whatnot so I can get him to support y'all. Okay.
Oh, definitely appreciate that.
Yeah, because the people we associated with, it's about giving back, as far as I'm concerned. For our listeners, our viewers, the website, you can get a hold of these, the NFL alumni and their partnerships, like the Gear Up Against Shingles, Gear Up Tennessee, as well as the Better Business Bureau, Heart of Texas Education Foundation. Go to NFLA gearup.org/singles. Again, that's NFLA gearup.org/singles. And then for your Gear Up campaign, it's NFLA gearup.org/Tennessee. Again, that's NFLA gearup.org/Tennessee. And then for the Better Business Bureau, there we go. Better Business Bureau, Heart of Texas Foundation. Do we have a website for that? I don't even there. BBB.org and do a search for the Heart of Texas Education Foundation. Hey, Al, it's been a pleasure. Last thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get your prediction for the game, the big game this weekend. Who you got?
I like Kansas City, and this is the reason why I like Kansas City. I like Kansas City because they're the champion, and anytime someone wants to dethrone the champion, they have to do it. It's like a heavyweight fight. You're the champion until you get knocked out. You went on points and what have you. You may have some disputes until you knock the champ out. You're just a contender.
Right.
And the thing about it, this year they had to go through the gauntlet. They were struggling through the year. Receivers dropping balls. They lost some games. Everybody said they're done. They had to fight their way. They had to do it on the road in the playoffs. This is the first time they had to do it the hard way. And they did, through Arrowhead. People had to come through Arrowhead a couple times, and they made it happen. But they had to do it on the road, and they had to do it in adverse situations against top-rate teams. So they earned their way to be here. So to take them out, and if they win again, you have to tip your hat to them because they didn't take the easy way, and they did it with some young guys, and they didn't have a big time receiver, and some of the young guys stepped up, but during the course of the year, they were ready to put them to the side, and they stepped up.
I see it in the exact same way. In fact, that's what I've been saying all week long. Until you beat the champion, I can't pick against Patty Mahomes. I just can't. San Francisco is a big physical team, and I understand the challenges that presents. But until you beat Mahomes, I got to go with Mahomes. Before I let you go, there's a couple of viewers that want to give a shout out to you. Nathan Ramachandra says, "Great guest." And we're not gonna ask that question. I wanted to ask what's your moment as a player in the Super Bowl. Well, we're not gonna take any more of his time. He goes, this is awesome. And then Ben Sutter the third, he is the gentleman who put the BS in BS3 network, and he's tuned in, probably trying to make sure I'm still working on Friday without him being there. We working. So just have my check ready. You hear me?
You working hard. You working hard though. That's good.
So Al, we really appreciate your time, man. Best of luck to you, and make sure we exchange information because I'm gonna get you with Mike James. So when y'all have something in to the Nashville area, he can support you.
Well, I appreciate you having me on.
All right. I appreciate you again. From Media Row at the Mandalay Bay Convention. We will talk to you in a bit. Information on the back of it, and I promise you Mike James will thank you. Thank you so much. But yeah, Mike James, buddy of mine, I met him. Mike James was I met him in San Antonio about, I guess it's been about 8 years or so ago. And we met after the show. He was doing a comedy show there with Lonnie Love. We met, we connected, we clicked, and we have over 38 podcasts on our network, and we also have a Roku TV channel, Black owned and operated. Dallas is our base, and we had him on a couple of podcasts. He ended up getting a Dry Bar comedy special. He tours with Godfrey all the time. And Zany's there in Nashville.
I was just there a couple weeks ago. DC Curry was there.
Oh yeah. So he's is opening as long as he's not touring somewhere. Okay. So that's just like his home club, and he'll host there.
Which one's your number then?
I'm King Ivan, King Dog. So that number, email, and just shoot me something. And that's one of the podcasts that I'm on the network.
Is it sell or?
Yes, that's sale. So yeah, shoot me some.
Well, what's easier? I can just
here, I'll put it in right there. Matter of fact, I'm gonna give him a call and let him know what's happening.
Let me know when you're ready.
Okay. Yeah.
615
Uh-huh.
293
Uh-huh.
9522.
Cool. Okay, I got you, man. I'll make sure to put
Did
y'all
you down?
together.
Well, down.
Oh, yeah.
I just go ahead and lock you in.
No, okay. Matter of fact, I'm gonna shoot you a text.
Put the name with it so I don't get it
I
mixed
will.
up. And then her name is Stacy.
Okay, I will.
Appreciate you having me on.
Oh yeah, man. I appreciate you for taking the time, man. Yes, please. We're gonna get a couple of pictures if y'all don't mind.
Oh, no problem.
Actually, my great name.
All right, there you go. And let me give one of your folks that.
Legacy.
See my good side. Yeah, sure. All right, thank you. Hey,
Appreciate you. Okay.
Yes. Y'all ever need to get on the y'all need to get on the podcast? We have the podcast. My phone. That's why. So whenever I think of something, I'm like, okay. How
Make that happen. Thanks so much.
take some of that clean off your phone. I couldn't see.